Hi, I'm Kat Ackerfeld. I'm Assistant Curator at Toronto's First Post Office, and today I'm going to talk about this object from our collection, which is a lap desk. It is an object that you would have to contain all your personal correspondence, and if you're traveling, you might also have some writing equipment in it. So when the lap desk would be traveling, it would be all folded up like this. So you can see there's a lock on the front there, so you could contain your correspondence and keep it secret. So when you want to open it up, you get a nice slope where you can put your paper and write on this. There's also cubby holes here and there where you can hide your correspondence, your writing equipment. There are a few slots up here for inkwells. Interesting thing about this desk in particular is that we can date it because it has an inscription pasted on the inside of one of the flaps. This desk was brought from Leeds, England in 1836 by John Rhodes Smith to Glengarry County, Canada, where he resides. So there are lots of little cubby holes, lots of room in this desk to hide your items. This is one of my favorites here. This tray just pops open. You can store some things underneath. So there's some extra storage in this box along the side, but to get at it, you can't just open it up. You actually have to open the desk, pull the pin, to unlock the drawer so you can get at that secret correspondence. So some of these items were especially meant for traveling and some not, but they could all fit inside the desk somewhere to be easily transported. First thing you need if you're writing in the 1830s is a pen. And at that point they were using quill pens. So this is from a goose. I've taken a knife and just shaved off the barbs a little bit, so this one looks a little streamlined, a little bit more like the modern pen that we know today. And to do that, if I needed to resharpen that on the road, I would also have with me a handy pen knife. So this one has two blades. Very, very impressive, but you can see that the knife is actually very, very small for a pen knife. So this would be used for cutting a new knife or just sharpening one that you've already been using. You could also cheat a little bit with a quill cutter. This is a tool that looks a little bit like a nail clipper. It also has a pen knife folded into it for finishing touches, but just for quickly sharpening your quill, it works almost exactly like a nail clipper. You just stick the quill inside there, snap it shut, and your quill is like new. So once you are ready to write, you have your quill, you need an inkwell. I have a couple of traveling inkwells here. So the danger with ink is that it's a liquid, and if you have it rolling around in your baggage, of course it might leak, it might stain everything, get into the rest of your letters. So this one here has a very tight-fitting screw cap lid. It's made of wood though. You can tighten that pretty tight, and it'll hopefully keep your ink in one place. I have one that I like even better, not just because it's so cute. This is a traveling inkwell. It's in the shape of a tiny case, and it has a spring-loaded button on there. So as I open it up, we have a tiny inkwell inside, and I can open that up to get at our ink here. This will keep it really watertight and the ink really contained in there. So now I've got my ink on my page, I've written my letter. I also need to dry that. So travelers and letter writers would use Pounce. And Pounce is basically anything that's kind of powdery and absorbent that you could sprinkle on your letter, and the powder would soak up that extra moisture. So this Pounce pot is kind of looks like a pepper shaker, and you would just use that to shake some Pounce on your letter. So we've dried our letter. What if I've made a mistake? This is not exactly a traveling item, but it'd be a very handy object to have. This is an eraser. So at this time in Canada's history, we were writing mostly on cotton rag paper, although there was some linen paper in different kinds. Cotton rag paper came in all different qualities, but if you had a thick enough paper and you had made a mistake, even in ink, you could take this knife and shave off the top layer of that paper, buff it a little bit, and it'd be ready to write on again. So you have your letter written, and now it's time to seal it. So we have a seal, and I have a little bit of sealing wax. We would also need a candle. This seal is kind of large. It would fit in here in one of the nooks or crannies here, but seals could also come in very, very small sizes. You might have one hanging from your watch fob or even on a ring that you would take off to seal your letter. So in the gift shop, we offer a writing pack, which includes everything you need to write a letter as they did in the 1830s, including a bunch of sheets of cotton rag paper, which has a little bit of a nap to it and just absorbs the ink really well. Speaking of ink, you get an inkwell and an envelope of powdered ink. Just add water and it'll turn into the same ink that we use here in Toronto's first post office. Of course you need a pen to write with that ink. So you get a new and fresh goose quill, which I have cut the point on already but left all the barbs so it looks extra fancy. And when you're finished your letter, you'll want to fold it up and seal it. So you also get a stick of sealing wax in the color of your choice and a seal with the initial of your choice. And just to make sure you know what you're doing, we also have instructions on how to do all of this. Thank you for exploring this lap desk with me from Toronto's first post office museum's collection. I'm Kat. You can find us online at townofyork.com or on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at TO's First PO. Thank you for watching.